This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms for women entrepreneurs to be seen and heard. This platform is for women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. These are the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they want to build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. And today I am going to be interviewed by the brilliant Gillian Jones-Williams from Emerge. Gillian, thank you so much for doing this and for reading my chapter before it's out to anybody else. I will hand it over to you.
It's always a pleasure, Trudy, to interview. And I have to say, I cannot believe that you now have gone from publishing no books at all to publishing 2 books in 2 months. I have no idea how you've managed this.
It has been a journey. And I think that what I have realized is that I'm one person and my goal was always to get 3 books out within 3 months. But I've had to move the dates a couple of times for book 2 and book 3. And I really beat myself up about that. But it's one of those things that with doing the podcast as well and wanting to do the best for everybody, it really was a decision of to do my best and to get this out in the right way. Then I've moved the dates. So this book has been delayed by a week. Oh, tragic. And like it affects anybody else.
I think you'll be forgiven for that week's slippage. And I know that there was a lot of excitement around the first book. So I'm sure equally people will be enjoying these podcasts. And of course, this meant that you've had to write another chapter. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this. And it really, really resonated with me because you talk a lot about making a difference in this chapter. So why is that so important to you?
Well, I honestly think that anybody that has their own business wants to make a difference in some way, because anybody that you ask says, I want to help this person, they put on their ideal client. But how do we make a difference in other people's lives is one thing, and how do we make a difference to ourselves and our lives is another. And I didn't really think about that as 2 separate things until somebody asked me those questions. And I was talking to my dad actually recently, and he said, and he's still working, he's 72. He said, because I want to keep making a difference in what I'm doing. I thought that is a line that you don't hear as much as people wanting to make an impact or getting their bigger picture out there. But making a difference really hits home for me in that I want to be able to know that the legacy that I leave, the legacy that my business leaves, is ongoing in the way that it may have affected one person, let alone a group of people, let alone getting this book out and the feedback and the absolute heartfelt messages that I've had from people that have been involved. That is me making a difference. And I've had to own that. And we as women entrepreneurs find it very hard sometimes to accept that we are brilliant at what we do, or that we are making a difference. And so I wrote the chapter because I thought I am making a difference, and I stand by that. I'm proud of that. And even that, you get all the gooey feelings.
Yeah. I think that's so true, because if we can get up in the morning feeling like we're adding value or making a difference, then it doesn't feel like work anymore, does it? It's just so enjoyable and fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the other things you talk about, which again certainly resonates with me, is a tribe and the importance of women having a tribe. So tell us about tribes.
Yeah, I first heard about it probably, I've had my business now for 11 years, and my tribe gathering started in Australia. So I realized quite quickly that working for yourself and by yourself is detrimental to my health. So as much as we can all do it, of course we can do it, and I can have days that I can go without speaking to anybody. But what I actually want and need is to feel like I've got a support network and to have a tribe of people around that get it and are that like attracts like kind of people. And even when I had that in Australia, the fact that packed up and moved back to the UK, only 4 years ago, I was in Australia for 16 years, it impacted me massively in not being able to see those people who got it. And I was able to have big conversations with all the small conversations about what happened that day. And so moving countries at 40 something, can't even think, and having to find
something, of course, yes.
Having to re-find a tribe and re-find the right people to be around that challenge you in your thinking was really important to me again. So I think it became a level of importance that I didn't realize when I was younger, that having those people around in person and online is a really important part of any woman having their own business and being able to be a functional human being.
Yeah. That trusted tribe, as you said, who you just know get you and are there for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing that I really noticed about your chapter was when you were talking about accountability. Now, I know you're a clarity coach and you are the accountability queen. I know that from my own experience of telling you I'm going to do something, that is it as important for you as it is for what you do for other people?
Yes, and I think that you have to admit, which means I have to admit, that we teach what we need, but also it's knowing where your boundaries are and where your strengths are.
Yes.
And my strengths are definitely in holding other people accountable, helping them to realize why they want to be accountable. But for me, if I don't feel supported in what I'm doing from the people that work with me or from friends and relatives, then if I don't feel supported, then me holding myself accountable becomes a lot harder.
Yeah.
Whereas when you feel supported and you feel like you've got that support network around you that's going to say, come on, you can do it, there's nothing in the way of stopping you, get that next thing done, then it's a much easier process to be accountable to getting the big picture, the making a difference, the impact that you want to have in the world.
That really is so true, isn't it? Because you can set all the goals you like, but it's very, very easy for deadlines to slip and things to happen when it's you. But as I said, I know from experience that you like to ask those uncomfortable questions, just as I like to ask them of you, because it does push us forward, doesn't it? And upwards as well.
Yeah, and it's also having the people around you that I said challenge your thinking. But if you're going to be accountable to something, then make sure it's a thing that is moving your business forward.
Yeah.
Because when we are stuck in our own heads, when we're stuck in a rut, when we're not sure what that big picture vision is that you're aiming for, then just being on the hamster wheel and just doing the one foot in front of the other can get to the stage where it's not the business that you love. And if you want to keep loving what you're doing, then challenge your thinking by having other people around you that want to say, that's brilliant that you want to do that. Where's that leading to? Yeah. And if it wants to lead to there, what do you need to get done now? And if you want to get that done now, what's the date on that? And then
being uncomfortable in your comfort zone.
Yes.
I think that's where it pushes you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know that when people read your chapter and they'll read more about it, that it will certainly ring bells for them, just as it did for me. So, as you're going to be doing in your other podcasts, I need to ask you, Trudy, what's one lesson that every entrepreneur should know?
I love asking this of other people, but I forget this can be asked to me. I think that definitely finding your support tribe, your support network, the people around you that can support you through the darkest times and celebrate your achievements on a little basis and a big basis is a really important part of being an entrepreneur. So I think if there's one lesson, it is find that tribe of people, join that tribe of people, and then be an active member. Don't be somebody that just sits back and expects. Be someone that is actively involved in being a cohesive part of that business growth for everybody.
That's so true. Immerse yourself in it, really.
Yeah.
And celebrate. I liked that. And the final question is, a good business book? There are so many, but what would you say at the moment?
One of the first ones that I read, not realizing it was a business book, was called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And it was life-changing in the language that he used and the talking of the zone of genius and making sure that you stay in your zone of genius and the thing that you love, because that's what creates the bigger picture for your business. So yeah, The Big Leap was a game changer for me and my business. And I think that everybody should have it on their bookshelves.
I think I like the sound of that. I'll have to have a read of that.
Yeah.
So Trudy, thank you so much for spending the time with me this morning. I wish you and all of the most incredible ladies the best of luck with the second book, and really been enjoying the first book, which I was into. So yes, good luck with the next publishing.
Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for watching the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. If you've liked what you've seen today, then please make sure that you click the subscribe button to this channel to see more inspiration and motivation as more of these stories keep coming out. And if you want even more, click on the link below this video and go and have a look at the series of books Shine On You Crazy Daisy and get even more inspiration and motivation for you and your business.